A city of mystery. A city that 1 million people proudly call home. At least the ones above ground. Because New Orleans is also home to many beings that can't find their way back.
Here he is at last, Neo, the one himself. Right? That's a legend.
Standoff that captivated the nation ends in relief as that kidnapped 5-year-old boy is rescued from the underground bunker where he was held hostage for 7 grueling days. Late this evening, President Obama praised the FBI on the daring raid that safely freed the little boy.
Ladies and gentlemen, Punxsutawney Phil!
Okay, maybe there is no proof. Maybe the Grail is lost forever. But Sophie, the only thing that matters is what you believe.
Bloodline.
Located primarily in Mali, the Dogon people have a rich cultural heritage, including a stunning array of oral traditions, architecture, and sculptures. Their carved masks are renowned throughout the world for their skill and artistry. They also have a complex set of spiritual beliefs, focusing on ancestors and mythical beings called the Nomo. Referred to both as a group and as a single being, the Nomo are worshipped as spiritual guardians. For fringe researchers, the answers found in the Nomo and proof of the Nomo can be found in similar myths, such as the Babylonian creatures known as the Anedoti.
But the officers who have boats cannot get to them in many cases because the roads are flooded to their homes. And so I just saw some people bring in jet skis. They are going out on jet skis to try and rescue these people. There are areas inaccessible by roadways, something we can't get to, where it looks even worse. Rescue personnel tell me that there are bodies floating in the water.
For 300 years, the sea has been closing in on New Orleans. As the coastal erosion continues, it's estimated that by the end of this century, the city will be offshore. Even in good weather, New Orleans is sinking.
Many disturbing images have emerged in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, but some of the darkest went unrecorded inside the Superdome. Thousands of evacuees sought refuge in that shelter of last resort, only to be subjected to an unspeakable breakdown of law and order. KTVU's Ken Wayne went to New Orleans, where he talked to California rescue workers who experienced the horror firsthand.
The hellish conditions inside the Louisiana Superdome were so bad, even those who were there have trouble describing it.
Many of our members have said it was worse than the Ground Zero experience in New York City. It was quite an intense experience, beyond words.
When you first arrive on the scene and we heard pop, 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 and there were gunshots fired before we even got down off the off-ramp, yeah, I knew my life was in danger.
There was no power.
There was no power. There was no power.
There was no power, air conditioning, water. Thousands were stranded in wretched conditions.
What interpreter? Yes. There were three who always walked with the Lord: Mary his mother, the sister of his mother, and Miriam of Magdala, known as his companion, in brackets, koinonos. Koinonos comes from the Greek verb koinon, meaning to copulate with or to mate with. Absolutely, yeah. The Blessed Thomas, himself Didymus to the Lord, which is to be interpreted his twin. Okay. So Jesus had a twin brother. If Jesus is divine, is his twin divine? And if they are divine, are their children divine? And these
The real voodoo is really a healing art to heal the mind, the body, the soul, and the spirit. Of course, Hollywood's going to present us stereotypes and I guess the sensationalism, but some of the sensationalism is really true and a part of voodoo. As far as the magic, the spells, the curses, the hexes, that's something that's really a part of voodoo. It's not fictitious in reality.
As far as the magic, the spells, the curses, the hexes, that's something that's really a part of voodoo. It's not fictitious in reality.
The Super Bowl is kind of like the Holy of Holies in America, right? So like here I am, I'm gonna come into the halfway between like the church experience, and I'm gonna have to deliver a sermon.
Here, Beyonce. And I drew it out. I drew out the ramp. I drew out the boxes for me and my girls. I drew out the lift right in the O. It just so happened that O was right in the center of my name for me to come down. I knew the dance. I knew about the pumps. I saw all of that in my head before it happened. And it's great when you visualize something and it actually comes to life.
And it's great when you visualize something and it actually comes to life.